Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me once again for some more real estate content. In this week's installment of How Crazy is the Real Estate Market, I bring to you a California home that sold for $1 million over asking price. This house received 29 offers in 11 days after selling for a whopping $2.3 million. Now, I know California has no rules in regards to crazy and high house prices. It really is all about location in California, but this is definitely not a typical scenario. I'm a little bit late to the party because this article was released March 31st of this year, but I just couldn't not share this with you guys. Now, bidding wars are commonplace in today's market. We've talked a lot about the supply and demand, how there's very low supply or inventory, there's not that many houses on the market, and there's a lot of demand or buyers. I'm sure you guys can recite this by heart now. This is the reason why house prices are super expensive in today's market. However, a situation like this is still very outlandish. I'll try and put some pictures of the home up on the screen if I can find them, but like I said, it did sell for $2.3 million. It's a mid-century home that's a little over 2,400 square feet with 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms and amazing views. So for me, a situation like this begs the question, when will the madness end? The answer isn't so simple, and I don't have a crystal ball, so I can't tell you exactly when house prices are going to come down, when the real estate market is going to reach an equilibrium, but I can tell you what will actually make that happen, what needs to happen in order for the market to be back to a healthy position. The main thing that's going to get us back to a normal market is more inventory, more houses on the market to feed the demand that we're experiencing right now. We may see more sellers come summertime, and the reason behind this is a lot of people prefer to sell in the summer when their kids aren't in school, so that way when they're having to deal with the moving process and the closing process, typically closing can take between 30 to 45 days, they can do that without the hassle of having different events like that. Another big contributor to a potential influx in inventory is unfortunately foreclosures and evictions. I talked about this extensively in one of my videos that I posted a few weeks ago. I'll link it right up here. Essentially right now, a lot of people are in forbearance, and what this means is they've postponed their monthly mortgage payments, so they're not paying their mortgage bills because of unemployment due to the coronavirus pandemic. Forbearance is just delaying your monthly mortgage payments. It's an agreement with your bank that you're going to delay them for a certain period of time. This doesn't mean that they are completely forgiven. You're still going to have to make those payments at the end of the forbearance period, but the main advantage to doing this is that your interest doesn't accrue during that period of time. When the forbearance period ends, people are going to have to start making their payments, and their payments have been adding up over all of these months. So unfortunately, there will be people that just will not be able to make those payments and will have to go into foreclosure. In the same way, people that are renting right now and are not making their rent payments are eventually going to get evicted by their landlords. And a lot of landlords are mom and pop, meaning that they just own a few rentals. They're not like these huge mega millionaire landlords, so they might not be able to make those monthly mortgage payments for that rental house, so that rental may also go into foreclosure. I hate to see houses come on the market in this way, but realistically speaking, this is probably going to be a big contributor to more inventory coming in the near future. The forbearance period deadline has been pushed, I believe, 2 or 3 times already. It's been pushed now till September, so they just keep avoiding the inevitable by pushing it back further and further. People are going to have to make those payments at some point, so we may be seeing more inventory come in the fall due to this situation. Now, as a side note, if you are struggling to make your monthly mortgage payments, I listed several options for you in the video that I just mentioned where I talked about foreclosures and evictions, forbearances, all of that in detail. I list different alternatives to forbearance. So if you are struggling, check that video out. I do have some options listed there, one being a refinance, one being a loan modification, so you can talk with your lender to see if you can modify your loan, make the terms a little bit easier for you. I really think forbearance should be the last option. Another thing that might bring us back to a more stable market is when the interest rates actually start to go up. They've already started to come up a little bit, but as they keep rising, buyers are going to pull out of the housing market. So that'll also hopefully decrease demand a little bit and get us back to to an equilibrium in the market. However, if President Biden releases his down payment assistance program, that will result in increased demand, which will keep us at this crazy market that we're at right now. Right now, it's just a proposal, as I had mentioned in my down payment assistance video a couple weeks ago. I'll also link that right up here. But if he ends up passing it this year, that might create even more demand when we definitely don't need it. As I said in that video, if he releases it later on during his presidency, it has the potential to do a lot of good and get a lot of renters out into the housing market, have them purchase homes and become homeowners. So I'm not opposed to it. I just think that if he releases it this year, it's going to create a lot of demand, and that's the last thing that we need right now. That's exactly what's causing prices to continue to skyrocket. So the bottom line is, if you've been thinking about selling, do it now. You may not get $1 million over asking price like the person that was selling their home in the Bay Area did, but you will get a considerable amount above asking if your house is priced correctly. If you're somebody that's looking to sell your home and move out of state, especially if you're in a city like Portland, San Francisco, literally anywhere in California, New York maybe, if you want to sell your property in one of those cities and move to a different state, it really makes sense to do it right now because you can just get an insane amount of money for your house in this market. If you're trying to sell and move within the state, it doesn't really make sense in states like Oregon unless you're moving way far out in the country somewhere. But if you're trying to move out of state, right now is truly the perfect time to sell your house. If you're a buyer, it might be best to wait for the housing market to reach an equilibrium. I've talked about this a lot in previous videos. But I truly think that if you're not feeling entirely ready, just wait a little bit to purchase a home. You'll thank yourself later for it. All right, you guys, that's gonna be it from me for today. Thank you so much for watching and spending your time with me today. I truly appreciate it. If you found this video helpful or beneficial, please consider liking and subscribing. It helps me out so much. And turn on the bell notifications so that you get notified every time I upload. As always, if you have any questions at all, feel free to leave a comment or reach out to me personally. My contact info is always in the description box down below. And if you live in Oregon, I would be more than happy to represent you as an Oregon licensed realtor. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I post a lot of day-to-day behind-the-scenes content on there, especially on Instagram. So if you want to see my journey as a realtor, make sure to follow me on there. All right, you guys, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye!